Mike Lindsley back with you. It is 9 minutes with me here from Rosie's Corner, an official ML Sports Platter sponsor. And hey, by the way, if you're in and around Central New York, you're looking to shop local, you're looking to eat local, support those local families, there's no better place than here at Rosie's. Family owned and operated, right off Bartell Road exit in Brewerton, right on Route 11. Quick drive anywhere around Central New York. You just hop on the highway and bang, you're here. They've got the pizza wing combos for all of your NFL divisional round playoff weekend football. They've got themed food days like today with the Fish Friday and the mac and cheese, the Fish Friday with your coleslaw and fries, or all of your hot and cold subs. You can take the chicken salads to go, the desserts. Try the tremendous stuffed shells here as well. Rosie's Corner, getting it done on Facebook and on Instagram. And of course, you can get it delivered by them or via Grubhub as well. Rosie's Corner, a proud ML Sports Platter sponsor. Let's break down Ravens and Bills tomorrow night. It is going to be, I think, an incredibly difficult game for both sides, and that's really what happens this time of year. Just kind of ripping through some keys to this game. I think number one, you look at that matchup, and I'm not breaking any news here. You've heard it all week by every single person. The Baltimore run game against the Bills defense. What defense did the Bills come up with against Lamar Jackson, J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, that scheming pistol read option, Greg Roman type of offense that really weeks and weeks back, it seemed like a lot of defenses were catching up to Lamar Jackson, and I did a video on that, and clearly they were. But since that time, the Ravens have kind of opened things up a little bit. They've gotten more tricky. They've split gaps a little bit more, and that's going to be huge for the Bills. The Bills have got to contain. They got to keep Lamar within a square, and they got to fill lanes. They got to fill gaps in order to slow this Baltimore run game down. I think another huge key to this game is because the Ravens have that kind of a ground game and they're set up for ground and pound and eat the clock and extend the change and chains. And again, once in a while, Lamar can burst it open and run, to the house. With that offensive style, I think the Bills have to get an early lead. I think if the Bills can get up, 14-3, 10-0, 17-6, somewhere in that world, I think the Bills, it all goes in their favor right away, because then perhaps at some point Lamar's going to have to make, an elite throw in a zone or man coverage, whatever the case may be, to a Hollywood Brown or to his tight ends. He's going to have to eventually make an elite throw 2, 3, or 4 to come back in that game. And then that's when you let Trey White, you let Micah Hyde, you let Jordan Poyer, those secondary guys, you let them kind of take over. You rush you bring the house a few times from that Leslie Frazier defense. You get Jerry Hughes and Ed Oliver, and bring in a couple linebackers, bring in the heat, maybe a Klein and Epinesa. You bring a Milano from the edge. That's when you start to really pressure Lamar Jackson into maybe making a turnover. Another huge part of this game, and I'll wrap all of it into one, is just it's playoff football, right? So it's special teams, it's red zone offense, it's third down, getting off the field or staying on the field and extending those chains. It's special teams. It's all of those things wrapped into one to make football playoff decisions, the intangibles, the silliness, the penalties, all those things that wrap into the playoff football. If you win about 60% of those, 3 out of 5 type of a thing, you're going to win the game. Now, the Bills, last week against the Colts, it was kind of 50-50 there for a while. They made the right amount of plays as the game went on. They got some help from Frank Reich going for, the touchdown instead of the field goal, and then going for 2 instead of 1. Frank Reich gave the Bills 4 points. You take those 4 and you probably win the game 28-27 instead of losing it 27-24. Those are the little things in the playoffs, of course, but the red zone's going to be big. The third down stuff is going to be big on both sides, and of course the turnovers, the special teams, and the like. Another big deal in this game is the Bills' offense against the Ravens blitz. We know that the Ravens blitz more than any other defense in the entire National Football League. The good news for the Bills is Josh Allen is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, handling the blitz from the other side. And in this case for Buffalo up against Baltimore, I would expect Brian Dable to not mess around whatsoever. I know that they don't have Zach Moss, and there's a lot of people talking about, well, the Bills have to eventually run the ball, right? They put Devontae Freeman on the roster. They activated TJ Yeldon. You still have Devin Singletary. Forget all that. If there's light wind and not a lot of snow in Buffalo, the Bills need to do what they've done all year long. Throw the ball. And if you're worried about Josh Allen getting hit, don't be worried, because apparently Brian Daboll wasn't worried last week when he was calling too many read options and quarterback sneaks the entire game. It worked out a couple of times, especially on the touchdown, of course, that Allen ran in after he darted up the middle for a big gain in the first half. The bottom line is Josh Allen in the shotgun with 10 personnel, with 4 wide, slinging it to Diggs, slinging it to Beasley, slinging it to Davis, slinging it to Dawson Knox, slinging it to John Brown. That's when the Bills are at their best. So if the Ravens bring the house, run the shotgun, give Allen a couple more, spaces to operate, etc. But here's the key. Josh Allen, the progression, the growth into the MVP candidate that he's become in 2020, him against the blitz, him pre-snap, those are 2 huge areas where he's gone from here to way up here. And so in this game, Josh Allen, read it. Change the play at the line of scrimmage, the audibling, all that sort of thing, trying to draw the Ravens offside and getting them confused while they're bringing the house. Josh Allen doing those things, the reads, the audibles, and when the blitz comes, getting the ball out of his hands very quickly to eliminate those hits. Could be into the slot to Beasley. It could be on the run to Gabe Davis along the tiptoeing of the sideline. It could be deep to John Brown. It could be to Dawson Knox. It could be screens to Devin Singletary. It doesn't matter. He has to get the ball out of his hands quickly. This game is going to be tight. I think it's going to be just like last week against the Colts. Bills fans, you're going to be on the edge of your seat the entire game. That's how I think it's going to go, but I honestly could see it going any which way. I could see a blowout for Buffalo in their favor. I could see Baltimore blowing out the Bills. I could see both teams winning close. I could see a turnover late in the fourth quarter by either team. I'm going to take the Bills close in this game, 30-26. Buffalo wins, 1 possession game. I think it's going to be a slugfest, a heavyweight mano-a-mano type of a thing. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, the similarity, they're both young, 24. Allen is in the MVP race this year. Lamar won it last year. Both got their playoff wins. Same draft. You look at the toughness of the head coaches, Harbaugh, McDermott, etc. Both teams, by the way, tend to fumble the ball in spots. Look at Josh Allen last week. Luckily, Darrell Williams grabbed that ball on the ground. Lamar Jackson does tend to kind of cough it up as well. So is there going to be that late fourth quarter turnover that hurts one team or the other? Final thought. Don't ignore the kicking game in this football game. These 2 kickers, arguably the best 2 in the National Football League. Tyler Bass, the last 8-10 weeks, has been spectacular. 40 yards, 45, 50, 55, almost 60 yards. Some of his kicks look like they're going through from 65 yards. Justin Tucker on his way to the Hall of Fame. On the other side for Baltimore, while he has pushed a couple right, he has looked a little shaky for him. He's still been elite. The kicking game could be huge because if this gets into a 23-17 type of a game, it turns defensive for both teams, which could happen if Buffalo solves some riddles with a Lamar Jackson offense. The team that maybe gets the extra field goal in the red zone, who knows? Maybe that's the thing that gets it done. 30-26 Bills over the Ravens. I can't wait for this game. It is a spectacular time to be a Bills fan. What a great season. I just don't want it to end. Let's go Buffalo. Thanks to Rosie's Corner for having me out. Fish Friday. Get here. Themed food during the week like Meatloaf Monday, Chicken and Biscuit Wednesday, and your Turkey Slop Tuesday, as well as pizza and wings for your entire NFL divisional round playoff weekend. I'm Mike Lindsley. As I always tell you, enjoy the games.